So, Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressed were you with your Lakers last night?
Skip, I gave them a 6. Now, I was very impressed with LeBron and Russ, but I thought overall as a team, they let Jason Tatum get going. And, Skip, I've come to the conclusion after watching Jason Tatum over the last several years, he's going to punish the Lakers every time because they passed him up with the second pick. So he's going to make them pay. He's going to make them realize what you could have had.
Well, he made him pay for a little while.
No, Skip, the guy had 34.
Yeah, but he scored the first 14 of the game. That hadn't been done in like 20 years.
Well, I'm glad they decided to say, you know what, we better guard Jason Tatum and send 2 bodies at him to make him give the ball up. That was a very novel idea for Frank Vogel to say, you know what, we probably should take the ball out of his hands because of what he did to us last time in Boston. You remember that demolition, what he did? Skip, look. I like the way Russ has played. The last 6 or 7 games, Skip, this is the way Russ has played. All 3 of the big 3 shot over 50%. They were very efficient. I was disappointed in AD. I was like, AD, Skip, what in the first quarter, what was AD doing? Do you know? Can you tell me? I mean, he was just, the guy took the ball out of it, taking the ball. Al Horford took the ball from him. He got dunked on a couple of times, and dunking it, that's going to happen. You play in the game. And then the guy, Grant Williams, met him at the summit. I'm like, AD, are you injured? Because if you're injured and this is all you can give us, that's not good enough.
Okay, but remember, Robert Williams III, he's going to dunk over a whole lot of folks.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't got no problem with the dunking. I got the problem with the lack of aggressiveness. Still, Tucker should not have more shots than Anthony Davis. At no point in time. I gave him a 6 overall, Skip, because they still refused to guard the 3. And Boston got back in this ball game. I thought the game was over. The next thing you know, with a minute and a half to go, they done cut a 21-point lead down to 10. Because they're just letting skilled guys won't fight over the pick. They will look and see a guy coming to set the pick for the guy they're guarding. And instead of trying to beat him to the point, no, you're not going to beat him. They're like, okay, come set the pick. Oh, man, I can't get over it. Swish a 3. So there are things they can do better. But if you're going to tell me, 70 points is good enough. But the defense, that's what's concerning. I'm not concerned about the Lakers' offense because I believe LeBron is going to be close to what he was last night. He got 30 points, Skip, in 4 of the last 5 games since he's returned from the suspension. I can live with everything LeBron is doing. I love the way Russ is playing. I still need more for AD. We're going to talk about AD a little later, Skip. Go more in depth with that. But the defense, I'm still not liking what I'm seeing defensively because I know they can play better. And that's the Celtics. Their second best player or their 1A, 1B player, Jaylen Brown, didn't play last night. So I can't, and plus just the Lakers. The Lakers should not get a 8 or 9 or 10 unless they beat the Warriors, unless they beat the Bucks, they beat the Suns, they beat the Nets, beat the Bulls. Your boy got a nice grade for him. But until then, I'm not giving you no good grade from beating a team that's had the same record that you had.
Okay. I will go to a 5 on the impress scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, we close then.
But I am willing to increase that 5 up to a 6, 7, or an 8, depending on what happens in the next 3 basketball games.
Okay.
If they go to Memphis with no Ja, I don't think Ja's going to be back.
I don't think he's going to be able to play either.
And they blow them out at Memphis, where Memphis just won a few days ago by 72 over the Oklahoma City Thunder. So if you blow them out and then you go to those Thunder and you just wipe them off the face of the earth, they have beaten you twice already, then the impress scale for what happened last night starts to go up because you start to stack.
Well, you saw OKC just drop 42 in the fourth quarter and came back from like 18
they
down.
did, and they're highly capable of that.
Yes.
That's why I told you that day, I'm not going to shame them to the point of condemning them for losing by 72, because sometimes those things just happen.
Not 72 happens, Skip.
Well, when you just make every shot you look at, after a while, you just say, okay, it's your night, have at it.
But they need to, for you to go to the 6 now, make sure they need to blow out the Grizzlies. They can't beat them by like 5 or 6.
Blow them out. I need to see what I saw last night, because that was the first time all year that I said, voila, aha, eureka, that's that team that I thought we would fairly regularly see this year, because there was some firepower on display last night. From start to finish, I liked what I saw. Remember, this team had blown more double-digit leads than any team in the NBA.
7 of them.
And I kept thinking, as we got through the late stages of the third quarter, I started thinking, were they going to do it again tonight? Nope, they did not. Now, before I get to why they did not, let's go to Anthony Davis. He did wind up with 16 rebounds, and I told you, they got wiped off the face of the earth on the backboards at Boston 2 Fridays ago.
Right.
And they they turned the tables last night because that's 51-34 in rebounding.
Yeah.
Is that impressive?
Very.
I'll take that upon the Lakers because they are routinely out-rebounded, out-toughed, out-muscled, out-hustled on the backboards,
yes,
right?
You're correct.
Okay, so I got to give you that. Now I got to do this for LeBron James for last night. I'm not going to stand to do this, but I'm going to give him an ovation, not a standing. I'm going to give him a sitting ovation.
So you gave him a golf clap. That seemed like a golf clap to me.
It's too loud for a golf clap. It's louder than a golf clap because he deserves for me to look at one stat last night and say, thank you very much.
What was that?
He attempted only 5 3-point shots last night as opposed to the usual 10 or 12 or 13. He is a lousy three-point shooter. The truth is he's a well below average three-point shooter. He is 34.5% for his career. And now for this season, he's all the way up to 34%. Yeah. So he's not even to his career lousy average quite yet. Yet he is attempting, going into last night, 8.4 a game. It's ridiculously too many. If you can keep it around 5, I'll sit here and give you at least a sitting ovation because you deserve it, because you can't fall in lust, or it's in love or lust. But in his case, it's more lusty to me, where he just falls for it and he loses his mind, jacking up threes.
Well, it happens when he hits the first couple, Skip. And then you're like, oh, yeah. Then he got to do one heat check.
You got to do a heat check, then you got to do a logo check, and you're probably going to miss. But every once in a while, he'll drain a logo, and then it's like, oh, I got to try another one, and I got to try another one and another one. And I thought the best thing that happened to them last night was that he didn't jack up that many threes. They didn't make that many. Look what they did. 8 of 27. That's under 30%. And it wasn't like the Celtics bombarded you from 3. They made 10 of 33, which is barely 30%, right? It was not a three-point shooting game. But now we get to Russell, what I used to call Westbrook. He is now turned back into Brook. He is more Westbrook, right?
He's attacking like crazy.
Like crazy, and he's starting to find, dare I say, a place in this offense. Yes. And I'm not sure how, but it's starting to look like and feel like he's found a niche for himself that's starting to work. Am I right? And even for the game last night, if you look at what happened, LeBron had the ball the most in his hands at 26.3, but Russ was down to 25.9 for the game. Well, that's doable. That's workable. That's livable. Where if he goes up into the 30s with his percentage of ball in hands, then you got a huge problem. Right? Okay. So what did we see from Russ? Well, first I'm going to give you the bad Russ. But it's the same as LeBron. We saw less bad Russ last night, which gave them a chance to dominate. Okay, so could we see, please, his 4 turnovers last night? They were horrendous turnovers, but only 4 of them. Here's Russ. That's just, we see this, and it's like, it's just wacky. Like, Russ, what are you doing? Russ, no, you can't do it. That's like, if you did that in junior high school, you get benched, you know? Like, Russ.
That's too many. That's one pass. You right there in the rim. Go ahead and put the ball up.
He had it.
Yes.
He had it. Okay, that's just careless, and it leads to that, right? Okay, so but he only had 4 of those last night, to the point that all of a sudden, would you believe he's now fallen to only 2nd in the league in turnovers behind James Harden? So James Harden now has 116. Russ has only 114. Well, the Lakers are the 3rd worst team in total turnovers as a team. Well, that's the reason that they're, what are they up to now? 13 and 12. That's one major reason they're only 13 and 12 is they're the 3rd worst turnover team. But all of a sudden, if LeBron only takes 5 threes and Russ only turns it over 4 times, you got a chance to be good. And then what happened in the 3rd quarter? Well, LeBron had already happened. He happened in the 1st quarter. He came out and set a tone. But as we know, in his 19th year, he doesn't ever really sustain that kind of a surge, a blast.
No.
You can't do it for 4 quarters. Right?
No.
Okay.
I think the thing is he felt it started to slip away because Jason Tatum was doing what he was doing. And he's like, you know what? I better reattach ourselves to the Celtics, or this thing is going to get away from us again. Okay.
And then, shock of shocks to me, your team is up 5 at halftime. And then who happened in the 3rd quarter?
Russ.
Westbrook happened. Not Brick, but Westbrook happened in the third quarter.
Yeah.
If we could see the 15 points that he scored in the third quarter, just see him right in a row, this is the best of Russell Westbrook because he's just trying to find little niches, find little openings. He's attacking. There he took and made his 1-3.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's pretty good. You're still a lousy shooter. He made both of his free throws.
Right.
He's been a terrible free throw
But he's shooting better from the free throw line this year, Skip.
It's starting to tick up.
But this is what he really can do.
Okay, well, and he's naturally left-handed, so he uses his left hand, and there you go.
If you're smaller and you own it, he going to the rack.
Both left-handed, okay? Pretty good. Pretty good. This is all in the third quarter now. All in the third quarter. Well, he's still got his explosion. He's not too old. I'm not
brought the house down right here.
Okay, he did. Okay, and he wanted the house to stand up for him. Okay, so what did we see? He just took the whole game over.
Yep.
And now I'm getting sleepy, and I'm looking, and I said, well, wait a second. They're up 91-75 after three quarters. Well, even this team's not going to blow that lead to the Celtics. So I did accept your bet at the end of the show yesterday for one case of Diet Dew because I'd won 3 off you at the game in Boston. Mm-hmm. And you said, I'll give you the 3 points. And I said, okay, I'll take the 3. But I knew that Jaylen Brown was listed as questionable with a hamstring. And I thought, well, against the Lakers at Staples, which is about to be the other thing, but it's still Staples until Christmas.
Right.
And I thought, well, sure, he'll suck it up and try. He didn't go.
No, he didn't go.
So they did not have their number 1 star, right?
Yep.
So should you have won this game? Yes, you should have won this game.
And you should have won it in the fashion in which you did.
You did. So for I guess we should say the first time all year, they actually look like the all-caps Lakers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They played better, Skip, but still the defensive end is a problem for them. They let the Celtics shoot 56% in the first half. Now, they buckled down. They finally outscored an opponent in the third quarter, which normally happens to them. What happens to them, Skip? Yep. They get outscored in the third quarter. And whatever lead they had at the half is dissipated because they've gotten outscored. And if they're slightly behind in the third quarter, start the third quarter, it's greatly increased because they've gotten outscored.
Yep.
They changed that around last night. They won that battle 31-20 plus 11, and they already had, a 5-point lead. So now you're 16, 17 points going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
But like I said, Skip, look, they have enough offense. Offense is not going to be the Lakers' problem.
Yep.
Defense, turnovers, and free throws. They got to stop. Skip, now look at all the free throws they shot. A team shot more free throws. They made more free throws than you attempted. And that, I'm sure Frankie B is like, we need to stop fouling. We need to stop reaching. But you don't have guys, that can defend. Russ tries. I mean, they put Russ on Jason Tatum. That's a mismatch.
He actually did the best job he's done all year. He will at least hustle. He'll try.
When it's like that, Skip, he'll take it as a challenge. Tatum got him, hit him with a spin and flushed it. But Russ is he'll at least try if it's a situation where it's one-on-one. He won't back down now.
Okay.
I'll give him that much. He won't back down. Very undersized, too small for Tatum. And Tatum got it going. And once a guy gets it going at that level, Skip, ain't really nothing you can do. You can run all the guys, whoever you want to put on him. You can't stop him.
All right, so this is why I can't yet buy back in, because Russ is still shooting 31.8% from 3. That is horrendously bad for a point guard or any kind of a perimeter player, because that ranks 132nd of 156 three-point shooters in the NBA. No good. From the free throw line, Russ is only 69.1%. It's just not good enough for a guy who can do that much damage in the lane, because you're going to get to the free throw line probably as much as anybody this side of AD.
But he's getting better, Skip, considering where he started at in the high 50s, and now he's almost on the cusp of getting to 70%.
Yep.
We can live with that.
I got it. So defensive efficiency. Last year, you're number 1, and after last night, you're at 13th.
Okay.
It's not good enough if you're going to be that team that's going to win that conference,
you
right?
need to be closer to the top 5.
Okay, I agree.
13.
Offensive efficiency, you're now tied for 20th with the Kings. Tied for 20th in offensive efficiency? It's just not good enough. I told you, third worst in turnovers. You're tied for 13th in rebounding. It's just, I'm sorry, it's not good enough.
What are we at 3? We probably like bottom tier at the shooting the 3?
Yep, you are. And in just pure point differential, which usually tells the story, you rank 22nd right now. It's just, I'm sorry, it's not good enough.
No.
How about PER, player efficiency rating, something that Anthony Davis has owned for most of his career? He ranks 9th. LeBron ranks 24th. LeBron's been top 5, top 10 for most of his career. And Russell Westbrook ranks 84th, and Melo, he's 153rd. So those are your big guns, and I can just show you off player efficiency rating. That's why you're 13 and 12,
but
right?
Let's just hope now that the guys can stay in the lineup. LeBron can stay healthy enough to get, say, the next 20 games so they can develop some cohesion together. Because I think that's the biggest thing. LeBron gets nicked. I mean, LeBron hadn't played 3 games back-to-back. This was, like, first time he's played 3 games back-to-back-to-back. Yep. So now if he can stay on the court, AD, I ain't worried about LeBron. Russ is going to be Russ. I believe Russ has found his niche. But even though he had 17 and 16 rebounds, that's not enough. AD needs to be 28, 12, 30 and 12, 30 and 13. I don't care. AD can be Giannis. It's just his mind. He has to come out every night and says, I'm going to dominate. Yep. Something like AD, like, man, you know, I'm cool. Hey, Brian, y'all handle that. Russ, y'all handle that. That's not what Giannis doesn't say, Chris Middleton, you take it over. Holiday, you take it over. That's not what he does. He says, I'm Giannis, I'm Greek Freak, I'm the 2-time
he does.
MVP.
I agree.
That's the mindset.
Whatever he has to give you, he gives it every night, every ounce, every dribble.
Ends.
Yep, all he's got. You can't, that's where you can't fault any of that. No. Because that's going to make up for an off shooting night.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Because we saw AD do it in Detroit, Skip. Remember how he got on Cade to Cunningham, slid, blocked the shot. Cade got it back, drive, blocked it, went down on the other end, got a dunk. So I know AD is capable of this.
That was against the Detroit Pistons, led by a rookie.
Yeah, okay. But that's what I'm saying, Skip. I know AD has that in there. Skip, we saw him. AD was averaging 28 and 11, 27. Go get your 59 and 20. And he's like, man, if AD was on a team, okay, now you on the team.
Okay. Why do I see continually low motor?
I don't know, Skip.
Last night I saw lethargic.
Yeah, Skip.
I saw not really into it.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, Skip. I don't know. Is he content? I got a ring. I'm straight. I don't know, Skip.
Is he unhappy with something? Is it not going the way he wants it to?
It's definitely not going the way he wanted to. 13 and 12 at 25 at 25 at the quarter pole.
For a great player, that only inspires you.
Yeah.
Right?
Skip, I mean, how many times are we going to be able to say, AD, we need more. AD, you need to play with a more passion, more desire. I mean, we've been saying that since the kid been in the league.
He actually, to my eye, because I used to watch him, because he used to torment my Spurs back in their heyday when he was a young Pelican.
Right.
He played much harder in New Orleans consistently than he plays now, and I don't know why, because he would lead the PER. He would be second or first every year in player efficiency rating. What's up with that? I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's resting on his laurels in L.A.
But they can't win it. LeBron, if LeBron can turn back the hands of time, 10 years is still not enough unless that guy. Because, Skip, he's the one guy that really there's no answer for. When you that size like Kevin Durant, James Harden can do what James Harden, but if Kevin Durant's not Kevin Durant, because there's no answer. You saw what happened? They get it. They come with a double team. He passes back out to Patty Mills. The double team goes away. He gets it right back to KD. KD turns around. All you got to, once he turns around, you just pray, look, please don't let this ball go in. Because you can't challenge it.
Can't challenge
He's 7 foot tall. He's shooting at 9 feet. So what you going to do?
Yep. And you can just see in his body language, like, okay, I got this.
Yes.
Now. And I never see that, or rarely do I see it in AD.
Right. For whatever reason, Skip, his outside shot has abandoned him. The shot, the mid-range that AD used to be money on, now he's still dominating in the paint. He's getting his layup, he's getting his dunk. But that 10, that 12, 15-foot shot at the top of the key, at the side that AD used to be money on, it's not there anymore.
Remember the early play in the game? Grant Williams just made him eat one. Yeah. And Grant Williams is about 6'9".
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Made him at the summit. I'm surprised the guy even, I mean, you think somebody will go up there and challenge Giannis like that?
Nope. Well, it's not possible. Not like that. No.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.